Millennium Force is one of the most iconic coasters out there, and to many this ride is still among the best in the entire world 20 years after it first opened. Millennium Force opened in 2000 and was the first ever Giga coaster or full circuit coaster over 300 feet tall, and it is also the first and only Giga coaster I've ever ridden. So, does Millennium Force still provide a world-class experience, or has it been left in the dust by some of the newer elite coasters? Today I'll answer that with my review of the revolutionary Intamin Giga Millennium Force. To begin the review, I'll take you through the layout of Millennium Force, and to begin the ride, you leave the station and ascend the cable lift hill. And the view of Lake Erie from here is just absolutely amazing and beautiful. You just get such a great view of it as you're going up. You can actually even see Canada on a clear day, so that's pretty cool. So in my opinion, this ride gives one of the best views of any coaster I've ever ridden. After going up the cable lift, you will go down this crazy 300-foot drop that is one of the best first drops ever and provides some amazing sustained floater airtime, and you just feel like you are falling forever. This is a fantastic element. After the first drop, you head into this amazing overbank turn that is very forceful, and you just go through it with blazing speed. This turn is absolutely awesome. After that, you go into a low to the ground turn with a lot of speed that leads into a tunnel that is great both during the day and at night, and then you go into a tall camelback hill that in my experience only gave weak floater airtime at best, so it was a pretty disappointing element. You then go into this long turn to the right that gives a great sensation of speed, that then goes into another overbank turn that is fun but nothing too intense. Following this, you then turn into another airtime hill that gives solid floater airtime before you head into another tunnel and then turn into the speed hill, which provides great ejector airtime, a really great moment actually. And then you make the final two turns before you finally hit the brakes, where your ride experience comes to an end. In my opinion, Millennium Force has a few great things working in its favor. The sensation of speed you feel on the ride throughout is absolutely fantastic. It's really incredible. The ride duration feels very long, and in the case for Millennium Force, that is definitely a positive. The ride also has one of the best openings ever, as the lift hill, first drop, and first overbank turn are all top-notch elements, and I'd even say that the low to the ground turn before a tall airtime hill is great as well. Unfortunately, after that airtime hill, Millennium Force never really is able to get back to the level it was prior to it, and the only standout element after the tall hill is the much shorter speed hill before the brakes. For that reason, I think that Millennium Force has some very high highs, but for the most part, I'd say that the middle and ending of Millennium Force is just alright, which was definitely disappointing for a ride that I had such high hopes for. As for my experience, I got to ride Millennium Force twice, once in the morning toward the back row, and once at night closer to the front row, and I enjoyed my night ride a lot more as Millennium Force was running much faster and better, and the effectiveness of the tunnels I thought was also improved as it was pretty much pitch black in them at night. That was really incredible. Also, of course, night rides on most coasters are automatically an improvement, at least in my opinion, and that is definitely the case for Millennium Force, though I'd advise not sitting in the front row at night on Millennium Force unless you want to get your face pelted by bugs. Outside of the layout, I'd like to talk about Millennium Force's Restraints, which are these Intamin T-bars, and they are very comfortable and also amazing as they let you feel the first drop and speed hill at their full potential with zero pain. And also the trains on Millennium Force, the sides are open, so it makes the ride feel a little more intense. I also found Millennium Force to be very smooth, so roughness wasn't really an issue if you're worried about that. For my final thoughts, overall, while a little disappointing, I think that Millennium Force is a very fun and great ride that has an outstanding opening that includes some of my all-time favorite coaster moments, and the whole ride has a great sensation of speed throughout, and for that reason, I'm going to give Millennium Force a score of an 8.5 out of 10. This is definitely a coaster you need to ride when you go to Cedar Point, but I definitely say that many coasters that were built after Millennium Force are better than it, and that is also why Millennium Force is my number 16 coaster out of the 94 I've ridden thus far. If you want to see my top 30 coasters list, I've split it up into two halves, and you can see the first part as I have a link to it in the description below. And thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time here on Coaster Hour.